Yo, this your boy Trick Daddy Dollars, and I'm in King Court with my dog DJ Hunt.
Yo, what's up, y'all? This is B.O.B. and right now you're locked in the King's Court. And my brother from another DJ Hustle.
We almost through the journey. We still in 2007, because in 2007 your father passed. What type of impact did that have on you at that time when you was, medicating and, depressed?
My dad, it's crazy because we are so quick to give props to our mothers because most of our fathers are not here. And because the weight of our mothers are a lot more delicate. And human nature presses us to tend to go to what's easy. But as a man, you can't make it out here in this world like that. I realized that 2 years before my father died, that he was actually my best friend. And besides the music and my personality, the things that people like about me came from my father. But my father wasn't. My father was very strict. My father was like a commander. He was the chief of the fire department. He was the first. That's why I got the fire and my tattoo on his name, with his name on it, because he was a fireman. Yeah. My dad was the type of motherfucker. I remember the first time I ever made all A's. I came in, gave my report card. I ever tell you about this, Virginia? I walked in, gave my dad my report card. And like all my life, I just worked to make my dad proud. And so I gave my dad my report. He was reading the paper. I gave my dad the report card. He looked at it, put it down. I was still standing there. He said, "What, nigga?" He said, "You talking about this shit right here?" He said, this what the fuck you supposed to do.
That's right.
He was like, when you cut on the motherfucking lights and they come on and food is on the table,
That's my job.
motherfuckers, what he say? He said, fireworks don't go off in the sky. I don't need no motherfucking back rub and high fives around this bitch. Yeah. What he was trying to teach me in his own way, because his dad died when he was 10. And I realized we look at our parents as if they're these great people, but they really like one of the people that you know. They ain't no better. We just give them more credit because they our mama. Mm-hmm. We don't want to admit that our mom maybe is the hoe or the nerd or the drug addict or any combination of the people that we know. My dad went through a rough life, so he didn't really know how. Well, maybe he didn't give a fuck. I don't know. But my dad was always just like, dude. And what he was saying was, you in the same thing I told you in the interview about Katrina. Yeah. Like, that's wow. He was really saying, like, dude, you don't get credit for shit you supposed to.
I was gonna say that.
To be smart.
Same thing.
Yeah, it's the same. Why I never put them two together. Thing. My dad told me this, and then I'll move on. My dad, right when I got that big, record deal, had the big Escalade, whatever, big ass rims, rode through, got my dad. We started drinking, and understand, I got my deal when I was 28. I don't think me and my dad ever had more than 6 hours of conversation outside of him reprimanding me. I asked my dad, I said, "Dad, are we cool now? Because I got some money?" He said, "No, sir." He said, and I think it's one of the problems with most of our generation, we trying to be our kids' friends. Mm-hmm. My dad told me, I don't need no more motherfucking friends. He said, my only responsibility, my only task and duty was to make sure that you was a man that can navigate himself through this unfair, evil-ass world. He said, once I saw that if something happened to me that you could take care of your mother and your brother, then my job is done past the fucking Hennessy. You don't fuck whether you like me or not. That was not my job. That was not the mission statement. My mission statement was to make you into a black man in America. And that shit ain't fair or easy. So why should I give it to you easy? Then you get thrown out to this world and be all fucked up and discombobulated. That is one of the things that now that I am truly a man, that's one of the things that I hated about my parents' generation. Our parents' generation, they fucking lied to us. They told us if we prayed, made good grades, and was honest, that shit was gonna work out. That's a fucking lie. This shit is who you know.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? How much you are able to accumulate. You feel what I'm saying? What you gonna do for your own. Many folks don't give a fuck about us, my dude. You feel me? So like now, like when my dad died, can you imagine realizing who is the best person for you in your life? And then as soon as you realize that a year later, that he get brain and lung cancer. And then that's when I was real popular touring, because I started touring like Talib Kweli. I was on like doing 2 to 5 shows every week. I was a touring artist, because if any of y'all ever seen my show, like they're rock shows. You feel what I'm saying? So, and it still bothers me to this day. I came home and I said, Dad, like, do you want me to come off the road since you got cancer? My dad said, I'm good with God. You can't do nothing but sit here and watch me deteriorate. He said, you're doing better than 8 generations of black people from Mississippi. Go out there on that road and get that money. And I left. And then he ended up dying. So like for me, you know, in our head, we always gonna wonder.
Yeah, what if?
What if? But I know he was right.
Yeah.
Because I'm here.
He knew what was about to happen. That's why he said
he was cool with it. So like, that's what I was saying. During all of those times, man, and I could tell you this, bro. Like, yo, I really wish I would have had more fun. I never had fun, bro. All I did was work. All my homeboys, they was doing their thing. Managers was doing their thing, bro. I was either, if you really think about my career, and nobody ever talks about this with my career, for 10 years straight, I was either doing a movie, producing somebody else's album, my album, touring, or activism. Most people do their one thing and they go home. Because I didn't love or respect my talent, I stayed working.
Now we get to 2008. You dropped The Greatest Story Never Told. You get nominated for Get Like Me. You get nominated for Producer of the Year. How you feeling?
Was that during the time of Carter 3 too? I don't remember. I got the Grammy now? I don't know.
I think your Producer of the Year credit was for Get Like Me. It was for you. It was for your album. And maybe you might have dabbled on somebody else's, and that's why you got it.
It was rough, cause during that time is when I moved to LA.
Okay.
And I was out there by myself, you know, and I was so far away from the South. I was so far away from my family. And because you gotta understand, I had been in the music industry for a while now. It was sort of like a separation. You know, and I've always been a man of the people. And I was just so far away from the things that I was used to. And that's when my life started really spinning. And I got super, super duper depressed. And what people don't know is I had sleep apnea and one other thing, high blood pressure. So I ended up, you know, they said with that combination I was gonna die. People, because when I got super yoked during that time. And people like, damn, Dave Bound trying to get sexy for the movies and shit. And that's when I start popping. We ain't even talk about that. I started popping in the movies.
Oh, we're gonna get
That's when I had 6 movies in a row too.
11 all together, yeah.
And and the other part about that too, because if y'all want me to get a whole thing, I had done Black Snake Moan and a couple other films, and I moved to LA to pursue my acting career. But when I moved out there is when writer's strike. It was 3 strikes in a row that had to do with the movie.
I remember the writer's strike.
Writer's strike. Then it was the actor's strike, and it was one other strike that they had at the same time. And we all know, and if y'all don't know, as much as they say when it comes to black people that it's about talent, it's not. In most cases, how many asses you can put in the seat. That's why you don't get to see the premier great black actors until they've done so many movies that they're undeniable. Because for white folks, it really ain't about talent when it comes to us in acting. It's how many viewers they have. At the time, for me, it was how many records were sold. So I was popping. Plus, I could pull. It wasn't really acting. Because I was over 6 feet tall and I wasn't a comedian, all the roles that they had for me was like you selling dope or just got out of jail or some shit like that. And that wasn't hard.
Yeah.
That wasn't really acting, you know what I'm saying? And plus I'm a big motherfucker, they scared of me anyway. So I moved out to LA, bro, and then it was about a year before shit got popping again, and by that time, you know, I didn't have no record. Again, sort of like Katrina. It's like it had happened to me again. You know what I'm saying? And I just stayed out in LA and just grinded, bro. I'm talking about I got into that grind, you know, auditioning and all that kind of stuff, and you know what I'm saying? All the shows and shit. If I was staying in the South, I could have still been doing shows and touring and shit, because you around the people, but I was so far away from my core market, bro, that I end up really having to become an actor for fucking real, dog. So I was going to acting school. That's why when like people see me acting, they be like, damn, David Banner good. One of the things I try to tell these kids is like, most of the people who you look at who are great, it's because they practice. It's nothing that you can do. I read a book one time that said that talent only gives you a head start.
That's it.
The rest of it is work. It's repetition. You feel what I'm saying? It's how many hours you put in. And I also think that's one of the reasons why rap is falling to the level that it is because there's no mark. Like you used to say, oh, he can rap. Oh, Drake can do beats like a motherfucker. Like the average person who a person says dope, and it's no way is this. Because I love music the same way I loved it then. But the only thing that makes it hard for me is when I can't tell you why I believe somebody is dope. You know what I'm saying? But there were artists who was like that during our generation though, because Lil Jon was like that. But Lil Jon was a monster on beats though.
Yeah, he's a piece.
Lil Jon had a spirit. There was and that people say I'm crazy when I say that Lil Jon had a slave. When you remember when the slaves couldn't get out, they couldn't escape from slavery, so they would go out. I heard Charlie Braxton talk about this. This is where I got it from. They would just go out in the motherfucking fields and beat the motherfucking ground because they couldn't beat on their motherfucking ass. And that's what Lil Jon music was. So we had those types of artists. But in most cases, you could definitely say why you like Outkast. You can say why you like Scarface. You can say why you like 8Ball and MJG, whether it was their lyrical dexterity, whether it was Pimp C's twang in his voice. It was something. So, like, if you think about basketball, everybody can't shoot a great jump shot, but Dennis Rodman was the best rebounder. Yeah. You can't be in the NBA without being able to do something that has to do with basketball at a high level, you know. So anyway, getting back to LA, I just grinded out there, man, and LA was the hardest time in my whole entire life. But now that I'm a lot smarter and I'm a lot more clear, LA was like Southern to me. That's where I turned into the man that I am today. You know, Bill Duke introduced me to transcendental meditation. That's why Scott Parker introduced me to working out and drinking water. Found out I had been dehydrated my whole life. Shit, we ain't drink nothing but Kool-Aid.
Yeah,
only time we drank water was out when you couldn't come inside and have to drink out of the faucet. That was the only time. You know, and so, you know, usually when I talk about LA, I'll talk about my depression, but honestly, LA, I call it like that diamond factor. I was cold. Yeah. There was so much pressure that was put on me that, you know, the only thing that I'm thankful for that I hadn't said in a long time, and we got to go in 10 minutes, bro, that I didn't break. Like, we're not going to call nobody names, but a lot of people who've gone through the crucibles that I've gone through or similar to them, their eyes never come back. Like, they still like this. Like I see them, and some of them are my great friends. Like they still here, they still doing cool in life, and some of them are doing well. But their eyes never came back. Like my eyes was gone for a long time, maybe about 4 years. I was like this. You know how people see you, but they're not really looking at you. They're like, yeah, dog, what's happening? Yeah, dog, yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. It was something, and if we have one more part of my life, I'll tell you what that was. What brought me back.
Well, in 2012, you released Sex, Drugs, and Video Games. And I kind of know why the title was the title from talking to you.
And most people don't know. Oh, why would David Banner want to talk about sex, drugs, and video games? Bitch, look at my life, you motherfucker.
That's what you was doing. Yeah, sex, drugs, and video games. So that was pretty much the same part of life in California.
You know what's painful about sex, drugs, and video games is, besides, people always want to say Mississippi the album is my best album because that was my first complete album to the world, and it was so raw and uncut. And the reason why you never have albums like your first album is because artists are too scared to live.
Yeah, your first one was your
You
first.
notice, like, you know, Michael Jackson and Janet, all those great folks, Prince, they'll take 2-3 years off. Sade take 8 years off. Because I remember telling one of my dope dealer homeboys who was real big in the music industry, I was like, man, I hear your new album, bro, but I also saw your tour schedule. There's no way you could have been doing that shit and this, bro. You feel this? That's not possible. I'm not saying that you're fake, but some man, because I'm looking at your tour schedule, homeboy. And it's like, the reason why Sex, Drugs, and Video Games and the God Box was so good was because I got my heart broke. You know what I'm saying? I was depressed. I had did the Gatorade, we didn't even talk about that. We'll talk about that on the next one.
Yeah,
I had done Gatorade commercials and got more money. That
Mercedes,
was my money.
Mercedes-Benz too, right?
Right, yeah, Mercedes-Benz. Go to a banner vision. I did like 13 major Kmart, all that kind of shit. I went to Beijing and did the Mercedes-Benz ad. But, bro, I had been through so many facets in my life, bro. I had lost all my money from the government and got it back and dated women who were from overseas. Like, I had a girlfriend that was like literally from overseas, bro. Like, she lived there, like on some real shit. She wasn't supposed to be my girlfriend at the time, but you know. So much stuff that happened to me, man, that I had a story. But the thing that I realized that hurt me the most is that America has beaten the vision out of our people. If you think about the people that most black people want to hear, they don't want you to call them no God. As much as black folks say that they want to be treated better, you are attracted to the person that treats you like white folks treat you. You want me to call you a nigga. You want me to call you a bitch. You know, I remember old women telling me one time, we want the old banner back. We want some meat on your bones. I was fucking unhealthy. I told you I was unhealthy. Why you want me to be fat? Why you want me to, like me and Anthony Hamilton had this conversation. Like, people love you when you're depressed. They want the old Mary back.
Yeah.
Huh?
The depression.
Yeah!
What he say?
That's why the motherfucker died. He wanted Luther with the making the hamburgers out of the donuts. I'm with you, dog. But bro, sex, drugs, and video games when I was about to snap, dog. Like, I was literally, I never contemplated suicide, but at that point in my life, I realized why people do. Cause I used to always think, man, if a motherfucker commits suicide, you fucking weak, dog. How you gonna take your life? Ain't nothing that bad. But when you hate yourself and you can't escape yourself, bro, I've never felt a feeling like that, bro. Like, and there's something else that happened too. I'm gonna go back just a little bit before sex, drugs, and video games. People don't know this. I was supposed to go on tour with Lil Wayne because Wayne's manager and the young guy that I told you who I made my manager, they went to Jackson State together, or they was in Jackson, so they knew each other. So they kept in contact, plus I was producing for Wayne. That's where I got the Grammy nod, you know, for the Carter 3. And Wayne was like, Banner can go, they all, the manager like, Banner can go on tour with us. Bro, I had worked so hard that when I told my manager the week before, bro, if I do anything else, I'm gonna break. I can feel it. If I don't sleep, all I do is work, drink, Hennessy. That's before I had gotten in shape. And I told him, and he was young, and everybody around me was young, and all they saw was the money. I don't really think too many people really cared about me personally. And I don't, because they all loved me before, but when you see that this is the way that you take care of your money, and if we stop, I can't get no more money.
Yeah.
I need you to do one more, bro. But the one more is 20 more.
Yeah.
So I remember this literally happened. I am not joking at all about this. It was like, yo, Wayne said that it's cool for you to go on tour. I tried to get up out of my chair, and I couldn't get up. I literally couldn't fucking get up. Not just I couldn't go on tour, I couldn't get out of my chair to get up and say, all right, I'm about to go piss. I literally couldn't stay. I was so fucking burnt out, bro, mentally, physically. And I stayed in my house in Mississippi for 7 months. Didn't move. I was burnt. So I went through the whole LA shit, bro. Sex, drugs, and video games, bro. Who still to this day, bro, peep this. I had everybody on that record, but for who was hot at the time, but Rick Ross and Nicki Minaj.
Yeah,
I had A$AP Rocky on there. Chris Brown was on there 2 times. Wayne. As a matter of fact, 2 Chainz was on there, but me and 2 Chainz had a song that I sampled from one of the songs on there, bro. I really believe, I never put that song out, it was called Gas. If any of y'all heard the God Box, the beat from that is super old. That's why it sounds, But that was originally a song called Gas with me and 2 Chainz on it.
Which song?
Elvis. Elvis off of the God Box.
That's my favorite song.
It's
I was gonna
actually
say that. Yeah.
Gas.
That's my favorite joint.
And excuse me, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
And I sampled from off of Yao Ming when 2 Chainz said, I be pumping pussy like gas, nigga. I be pumping pussy. Man, that shit was so. Imagine the Elvis beat. The Elvis. Imagine it was 2 Chainz saying, I be pumping pussy like gas, nigga. And the shit was so jamming, but I knew that if I went down that road one more time, that I would never come back.
Because you was going to go right back on that road.
No, not really just go back out on that road. I was going to dive back into that world. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And I don't believe that God didn't want me to be the old David Banner. I think I was just the old David Banner for too long. Yeah. Andre 3000 was smart enough to see it early. You know what I'm saying?
He got out. He knew.
And he listened. You know what I'm saying? I was like, one more.
Yeah.
One more. When it's parasitic, it's never enough. Mm-mm. So, but I do want to say that what I did, and it was because of Andre 3000, I decided that I didn't want to rap like that no more. But what I didn't want to do was what Andre did, was he made a unilateral decision and just stopped without anybody knowing. Like everybody always wants that one more old school Outkast version.
Still waiting.
So even now that I'm a more outwardly conscious person, I still would have loved to hear just one more. You know what I mean? So what I did was accept Gas, because I know that would have went. I went and got all the songs off my laptop that had that old David Banner on there, and I put them all out. And it was Sex, Drugs, and Video Games. But what I did is I connected them with commentary in between. Like, even though I was gonna call you a bitch on this record, what I said before that song, I was like, David Banner, I had another voice to ask me, would you let somebody call your mother, your daughter, or your sister a bitch? I said no. I probably whoop somebody else if they call my mom a bitch. Then why would you call somebody else's mother, sister, daughter a bitch? Then I go into the song.
Yeah.
Which most people wouldn't give a fuck when they would listen to the song, but it would at least made me feel better putting the song out.
Yeah, the commentary.
So I put out all the songs. And this was a mistake. I did erase all of the David Banner songs I ever made. Every one of them. When I put out Sex, Drugs, Video Game. And I hate it because I also erased all my sounds out of my drum machine. Said I was going to start my sound back over. I never really recovered from that yet. But still make jam and shit. But I had some jam and ass kicks and snares. People used to try to pay me before the engineers start stealing your sessions and shit and selling your drums. I know how y'all got our drums. It's cool. I know you're hustling. But not all of them, just some of them. But I erased everything. I erased my whole laptop. And I gave sex, drugs, and video games. And again, me and my cousin talked about this. Bro, I know most artists don't say this, but man, as much as we talk about music, bro, some of the songs that I put out that people didn't react to, bro, I think most people would have quit rapping. Like, bro, I didn't put out, and, you know, I know because I was from the South and because I was so rough, people didn't listen to the dexterity of my music. But, bro, me and Lil Jon have always used acoustic guitars, bro. Bass line, like I'm talking about beautiful ass music. Not even fucking samples, man. I go back and listen to, what was the song with Sky? Pop That Thing. Man, that shit is so, it sounds like a Beyonce, like what people like from Beyonce now. Like we was doing that shit way back. And that shit was so fucking banging. But if there would be anything that I wish I would have done, I wish I would have paid my taxes. Then I wouldn't be as great of a businessman as I am now, because now I know taxes in and out. So still even that. And I wish I would have been a little bit better to my body. Bro, everything that I do in life, even when I play basketball, people tell me, why do you play so fucking hard? You ain't in the NBA? And I tell them, I said, I believe that you show who you really are in games. Like, I don't mind us losing if everybody gave 100%. But if you gave 95% and I feel like that 5% could have been what pushed us over, I'm at you. You wasted my motherfucking time. If I wanted to just work out, I'd get on the fucking treadmill. Like, I don't, bro. When it comes to my people, like black people, bro, I love black people so fucking. I even love us in our most ratchet moments because I understand the history of why we act the way that we act. I understand, bro, if there was anywhere on this earth that I would be murdered, it would be in Jackson, Mississippi. But I know why. I know what has happened to our people to make us think the way that we think. So I love our people even in our worst. But like, I can honestly say I'm proud of the David Banner that I was, because he didn't quit. You know, and this is for every artist out here, and I hope that it makes it easier for your life. There's two things that I learned. One is if you quit, the fuck you going back to? My failures are better than most people's dreams nowadays. Like the shit that I feel, like the God Box, for example. I know the God Box is one of the best albums in history, and maybe we'll come back and just talk about that. Because and if it was not for Charlemagne came out, and if it wasn't for Charlemagne, except the white publications, most black people would have been scared to say that this dude from Mississippi possibly has one of the best rap albums ever in history. And what's sad about it, and hurts me, is like, I did that album. When I sell 7,000 records, I make more money than the person who has a record deal that sells 65,000 records. So for every 10,000 copies that I sell, it's more than most people make on a major record label deal, and they're happy. So like, from a business perspective, I am doing well, but I do know this. I know that that album has something in it that can help our people. I feel like it has what Goody Mob had in Soul Food, man, that helped change my life. But the biggest thing was I didn't quit. So many times. My assistant told me, my old assistant, he told me this, bro, this hurt my heart. He said, if I knew for a fact that I would make it, but I had to go through the shit you went through,
Wouldn't do it.
he said I wouldn't do it. I'm talking about, he said, if I knew that I would make it and be a millionaire, I wouldn't go through the shit that you went through. So when people think that I'm so smart, it wasn't necessarily that I was so smart. I just didn't fucking quit.
That's it.
The other thing is this. If whatever your dream is, if you can do enough to sustain your monthly bills, then you won. Like, most people see Drake, and if they're not as big as Drake, then they quit, because they don't see self-worth. But they don't know who I mean, and I'm not saying Drake, but we're just using Drake because of who Drake is. You don't know who Drake been signed to. You don't know what he has done or what sacrifices he's made in order for him to be there. I realized that when I became a big time producer and started producing for these people and seeing the shit they have to go through every day. You know what I'm saying? Man, some of these folks can't live without having 10 dudes around them. They can't make it. They can't shop in the fucking store. Like, imagine how it feels to be a man and you can't walk out amongst men. I never want to do that. I never would want to be Michael Jackson. I don't give a fuck. I still want to be a man. Yeah. So I realized that, like, dude, if you're able to do anything that our grandparents would call playing, like right now we playing. As serious as we want to act like we are to our grandparents, if you ain't put no motherfucking shovel in the ground, if you ain't picked up no motherfucking concrete, you ain't doing no motherfucking work, you playing. So the fact that we can play and maintain our livelihood, if you can play a bass every day and playing at church and at the blues club, you know, can sustain your monthly bills, you fucking won. Now, if you can't sustain your monthly bills and the people that work for you, then you should quit.
Yeah. Well, that's where we're going to end this one. We're going to have to bring them back. We're going to get all the way into the guy box. We got to get into the movie. There's just so many layers to this guy, man, you know, so he's on time constraints. We're going to definitely bring him back, and we're going to do it again. David Banner.
Oh, man, I appreciate it, man.
Appreciate you for coming
Hey,
out.
I'm going to tell you something that I'm proud of as it pertains to what y'all did today. So many people interview you, and they don't know nothing about you. They only know what's right in their faces. And the one thing that I think is important for these children is because of the internet, they've gotten so used to self-gratification, and they don't realize things that are built in a day fall in a day.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying?
Overnight success is not good.
And I wouldn't say that it's not good because, I mean, if you had nothing and it pops for you, that's fine. But the problem, again, is it goes back to what we said before. If you haven't made enough mistakes, then you don't know what to do to sustain yourself when you start falling. You feel what I'm saying? If you ain't done no talent shows, if you ain't never had to talk to nobody, if you ain't built no relationships, you know, remember how I told you how I met the girl who helped put my life back on? Because I had been through so much shit, I had met her and formed a relationship. So, again, man, like, I appreciate the fact that you researched, because, you know, a dude told me, man, when I was in New York, he's like, bro, a lot of people don't know that you used to live in New York homeless. Because I was homeless in New York for a while. Remember what I said?
I didn't know that,
And he's like, people only start documenting your life from the day the lights turn on. But he was like, dude, for you to walk through these streets in New York like you walk through these streets now, like I'm the type of motherfucker, if I'm trying to get a cab don't pick me up, I walk 19 blocks. I'm from Mississippi. I ain't gonna beg a bitch to take my money. They used to be mad as fuck at me. I take off, start running. Running or walking in a minute, dog. Fuck that shit. I don't know. I just was just raised like that, and it just means a lot to me, bro, when people understand the struggle and they don't just take you for face value, man. Because, bro, I sacrificed so much time and I sacrificed so much effort to be an artist, man. And people don't realize because rap music is so. I remember this dude, and I cut with this. This dude asked me, he's like, when the next God box coming out? And bro was so deflating to me, man. Like, bro, it took me 6 years to make that motherfucker, bro. Like, I ain't no throwaway music right there, bro. Like, I got a symphony orchestra on that motherfucker for real.
My Uzi.
Yeah, for fucking real. The dude that did Passion of the Christ, dude that did Iron Man 1, 2, and 3, and about 300 more films. Like, that motherfucking white woman in the background. Whoa,
that's for real.
We paid for that motherfucker. I need them to acknowledge that shit. That oboe costs $50 motherfucking dollars. I need that credit, dog.
Yeah.
But man, when he said that, bro, it sort of punched me in my chest. I was like, dude, I gave my whole fucking life on that record, bro. And that's the point that I was trying to make. You know, why people don't get to make those great albums, because I lived for a minute before I was able. Because actually, this is a secret, and I give you this before I leave because I enjoyed myself so much. We were supposed to be gone 2 hours, okay? Just so you know. But I enjoyed it that much, I'm serious.
I appreciate it.
was that you know how people say they retired? And a lot of times, you know, I don't judge what other people do with that shit, but I think that's some bullshit. Because if you gonna retire, just quit.
Yeah.
You know who did that shit? So Tim Duncan.
Yeah.
That's how you retire. You don't go around, hey, I'm going to retire. Love me,
Just
motherfucker.
quit.
Tim Duncan was like, he was like me. I'm done with this shit.
Just quit.
You just won't hear no motherfucking music. I just disappear. And if motherfuckers really love you the way they say they do, they'll make some noise. But like I was done.
Yeah, you fell off for a couple years.
No, I didn't fall off.
Not fall off, but
you gotta be clear.
Yeah, not fall off. You kept moving. You was working. Yeah.
No, I was done with music. Music had taken my whole fucking soul. It was so bad, bro. I wouldn't listen to music no more. I wouldn't go in the studio. I wouldn't listen to no jazz, no gospel. Anybody cut on, ask my friends. Anybody cut on any kind of music, man, cut that bullshit off. The music the music business, that should have taken everything you get. That's why you see some of your homeboys that start rapping and they just ain't the same OG no more. Man, this industry, bro. Anyway, but when I did the God Box, man, I put my life, and it was cool because it was similar to doing Mississippi album because nobody was expecting me to do an album again.
That's what it was.
So nobody was fucking bothering me or when it's gonna come out and all that kind of shit until I announced that it was gonna come out. And it got pushed back 5 motherfucking times. But nah, that's it. Appreciate it, man.
We're gonna bring you back, man. We can definitely gonna do it again.
Yeah, y'all, it's your boy Philadelphia Freeway, and you tuned in to King's Court with my man DJ Hustle.
Yo, this your boy Trick Daddy Dollars, and I'm in King's Court with my dog DJ Hustle.
Yo, what's up, y'all? This is B.O.B. and right now you're locked in the King's Court. And my brother from another, DJ Hustle.